So in order to apply this to the classroom, I interviewed a history teacher at a public middle school in San Diego about religion in schools. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish out. There's a few more slides after this talking about the interview, but I'm just going to go ahead and finish it out in this video. So the first question I asked was, how do you go about discussing religion with your students? She replied, in history, religion is often referenced. Students often comment based on their own religious beliefs, but I'm always assured to avoid asserting my own. So she essentially talked about, just trying to avoid, discussing religion. I mean, it comes up in history. Obviously, it's had a huge influence on our world and has to be discussed in history. But it needs to be approached with a secular viewpoint. Students will come in with their own opinions, but you kind of want to just avoid, having that conversation and just, talk about something else. I also asked her, have you ever experienced a situation in which you were put in an awkward position regarding religion during class? She said, yes. Once a student openly expressed their outrage based on having to sit next to a student who was of a particular religion, I pulled that student aside and discussed with them the negative implications that they had set forth about this other student. I stressed that the student needs to learn to tolerate others and said that neither of you need to discuss religion during class, so it shouldn't be an issue. So, yeah, she had the situation where a student was saying things about this other student based on their religion. So the teacher felt like she had to, assert the fact that this is wrong, and the student needs to learn how to get along with people of other religions because, this is how it is. That's how the United States is. So she wanted to, assert that. So she just pulled him aside and talked to him about, the things that he was saying that were offensive, and you guys don't need to talk about religion when you're working on your project. So, just avoid it and learn to get along. And so the student was kind of not super happy about it, but eventually kind of came along with that. So, I mean, I can understand how it would be a tough thing to deal with in class. The last question that I featured that I asked her said, what are your personal beliefs on religion in schools? She said, religion is a hot topic for many people, so discussing it often turns ugly. In my experience, when a student brings it up in class, it usually turns into an argument. That being said, I do not believe religion should be endorsed by schools. Our country was founded on the separation of church and state for good reason. So, she kind of referenced the separation of church and state, which again I mentioned in the beginning. Talking about the Bill of Rights. She says that when it's brought up in class, it just turns into an argument. Everyone has different opinions on it. So, for a public school to represent any one religion would just be, a not good situation. So, she says to just avoid it, like I kind of talked about before. And yeah. So anyway, so that's my presentation. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, have a great day.